All right, so good morning. Let's get started today agenda and to proceed yesterday's session towards the Azure Data Sync concept. Okay, so let's plan. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. So then we can get to start immediately the session. Okay. Anyone have any question? Yes, regarding yesterday's session.
Yeah, this yesterday section, I have one question. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
please.
what is what's the main difference between the DMA and DMS? These tools that we using? I confusing. Yeah, yesterday.
What? DMA and DMS?
Yeah, what is the DMA? It's on DMS. So both are same or any difference is there in migration?
Yeah, let me make it clear. Okay. So yesterday we talked about multiple tools to migration. Anyhow, we are going to discuss, but for your question, DMA and DMS. Okay. So data migration assistant, this is. And also you can use for migration also.
Okay.
Okay. There is some limitation. Okay, so there is some limitation. It is not a demerit. Okay, so you can use for this one just for lesser than of 300 GB. As per my experience, I'm just saying. But if you go for more than 500 GB and all, it little bit uh, uh, complexity we have. Okay. Now, if you go for this DMS tool, only specifically we are going to use for the migration. So what is this, migration assistance and migration? Okay. So these tools, so typically, what exactly we are going to do? If you are going to do the migration from Azure SQL managed instance or Azure SQL, whatever, okay, even Azure SQL VM also, okay. If you are going to do the migration, what it is going to happen in your on-premises, you may have plenty of servers, okay. Let's say 100 servers you have, okay. Out of 100 servers, you may have some standard edition, okay. So developer edition, okay, so enterprise edition, okay, and express edition. So there is a lot of editions, and that may be running into the 2012 and 2008. Okay, just consider 2008 R2. Okay, so something which are running currently 2016, or else you will have 2017 or 20 whatever. Okay, so this 100 servers which is not similar, all these things, right? So let's say among this one of the server that you want to do the migration. Okay, so one of the server, let's say you are going to considering 2016 enterprise edition that you want to do the migration. Okay, so in this 2016 server you may have around 15 to 20 databases. Okay, let's say you have consider three databases that you want to migrate. Okay, so what you need to do before going to do the migration, okay, so you just need to validate, right? So if I am going to migrate this one, if I'm going to migrate this server, okay, this databases, if I want to migrate in a cloud, okay, either Azure SQL or Azure SQL manages, both option we have. In a pass model we have Azure SQL 1 plus, okay, Azure SQL MI managed instance, both we have. Okay, so both are different options, future. Okay, there is a some limitations we have, but just consider high level. Okay, I'm not going to in details at this moment. We have dedicated model. Okay, let's say you want to do the migration. So primarily in a migration standpoint, we are going to use the both the tools actually. Okay, now take the case one. Okay, So your database is, let's say, this less than 300 or 100 GB or 200 GB. Okay. This assistant migration assessment is what exactly it is going to do. It is going to check all your database inside of the tables. Okay. Inside of the views, stored procedures. Okay. And also the server compatibility. Okay. So the server compatibility, version of the server compatibility. If it is okay, so this is going to assess your complete server and the database that you want to do the migration. And also it is going to show you, boss, this is the server which is having the DB1. Okay, out of 400 tables. Okay, 400 tables. Okay, so 5 tables which are not compatible. I'll tell you why it is not compatible. And so in the instance level also, okay, this is having some SQL agent. Okay, my DB mail. Okay, so and linked servers we have. Okay, which is not compatible with the Azure SQL. Good to go and migrate your Azure SQL. Yeah, it will tell. Okay, then what about this? The compatibility of the database level. So there is some data deprecation type. Okay, so we are using some init and data types. We have a lot of data. So in our earlier days we are using, there is a limitation of the characteristics and that. So if at all, if such kind of tables and the data residing in your database, which is going to highlight, so this is the table, this is the data type which is not compatible. So and also it is going to give the recommendation, boss, you can fix this one, you can fix this one, this is the script you can execute. Then again you have to do the assessment, then we'll do the migration. So indirectly what it is going to do, this is a kind of scanning report. Okay, once everything is green, okay, which is going to give the output information of your server and the database. Okay, you can good to go. Okay, with your requirement, whether you want to go for Azure SQL or Azure SQL managed instance, both the things you can use for this DMA, data migration assistance. Primarily this is going to use for the assessment part only. Okay, primarily this is assessment part, but you can use for the migration also. Okay, now what about this DMS, data migration service? Data migration, this is across the cloud. Okay, this is dedicated for the SQL, but you have in AWS and also data migration service we have. But this is going to work only for the SQL related bus. Okay, assessment and the migration, it is going to work SQL related only. But when you go for the DMS, data migration services, it is a cross platform migration. Okay, it will go to work SQL to SQL only for the migration. MySQL to SQL. Okay, PostgreSQL to SQL. Okay, DB to SQL. There is a lot of cross platform migration we have. Okay, but it is going to use SQL migration as well. Hope you get right.
Yes, I got it. Is it online or offline? So I think DMS, I heard that this is a online migration, right?
Yes.
Online. So
Yeah.
yeah,
In a DMA we have online migration option. DMS also you have both the options.
online.
Offline migration, online migration. You have both the options.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. Hope you get high level I'm just giving, but we have in a dedicated live migration sessions. We will take the source and connectivity, we will do it. Okay, no problem.
Okay,
We will definitely
got it,
going
got it.
to dedicatedly will discuss, but for your question, then a high level thing, I think you understand. Okay, now let me talk about yesterday session. Okay, so if you have any questions still, you can ask me, or else we'll good to go and discuss today agenda of Azure Data Sync. Okay, Azure Data Sync concept. Yesterday we had a discussion, high level thing, which we talked about I think it is not got saved. Okay, no problem. So this Azure Data Sync concept, as I said, if you want to replicate your data within the cloud, or else even you can sync your data with the on-premises. Okay, so if you guys remember or not, from on-premises to cloud, you have a lot of option to do. As I said, DMA, DMS, backup restore, Azure link service replication, always unhandled. You have a lot of things to do. Okay, even you can configure and fail over it. Okay, that we have. But reversal method. Okay, let's say the business requirement within the cloud, you need to sync your data. Okay, so there is no replication concept. Okay, but you have geo replication, that is something related to region that we are going to talk about. That also one feature we'll discuss after this feature. Okay, but within the region, if you want to sync your data, live syncing operation, that we are going to use this Azure SQL, and this feature is comes under the scope of only an Azure SQL. Okay, Azure SQL managed instance, we have a geo failure group concept we have. Okay, this is under the service and Azure SQL only. Just second thing you need to understand. Okay, just high level I'm going to written here. Okay, so this is completely your, there is a two use cases here, boss. Okay, one is within the cloud, use case one. Second use case is on cloud to on premises, that you just need to keep in your mind. Okay, so two use cases we are going to discuss and two we are going to implement now. Okay, so here you are using Azure subscription. Okay, and we have one resource group. Okay, this is my, okay, so this is my one source server and a target server. It's a similar, you can call it as, this is, you will, technically we'll call it as a replication, but it will work, log shipping kind of thing. Okay. Now, so this is your, primary server. Okay. Or else source server, we'll call it as source server. And this is your target server. Okay. So within, this is use case one, I'm just talking about case one. You will get definitely this kind of requirement from the client end. Okay, so log mirroring and all, you have server level, host level access. You are going to create folders, and you are going to give the permission, you're going to create the log shipping mirroring replication. But just we are leveraging the feature. Everything is backend is maintained by the cloud vendor, but this data sync compression, we are going to leverage the future here. Okay, so case one is within the within the Azure. Okay, so we are going to use this Azure Data Sync Service. The other use case is, okay, so I want to sync the data. I want to sync the data my on premises, my on premises. So what is the approach we are going to do this for us? Okay, this is a use case one. Case two. Okay, what is this? On Azure to on premises, Azure to on-prem. Okay, here is Azure to Azure. Right? So first take the case one. Okay, so what we need to do, you guys is pretty much it. First of all, you need to create, resource group. Okay. Second one is Azure SQL Server. Okay. Then Azure database. Then we need to create Azure Data Sync Group. Don't worry, we'll go and we'll do step by step, create when we are going to create. Okay. So next we need to add the member server plus DB. Okay. And technically in a cloud end, what we are going to call it is, this is a hub one. Okay, so you may call it as hub server. Okay, this is in a member database, member server. Okay. So how it is going to work? Okay, so see the business use cases within the cloud. If you want to replicate your database, okay, so this is the one approach which we are going to use, the service called as Azure Data Sync Bus. Okay, by using of Azure Data Sync, we are going to do. Okay, let's go and deploy step by step process now. Okay, so I'm just navigating to the portal. So everyone, I'm just saying, you just need to take a subscription first of all, and do the practice, then only you will get a lot of questions. Okay, so from my end, it is easy, clicking off step by step, it is going to work. But when you are going to do, you will get a lot of questions and errors. Okay, that we just need to feel free to discuss. Okay, now, so I'm just going to create one resource group. Okay, so this is a resource group. Okay, sync RG1 resource group 1. Let's keep this one into this for the East US region only. Okay, this is one primary set I'm going to do. Later part, what we need to do as part of this one. So we have an article, okay, in this one also. We can walk through this, how they are going to implement it. Okay, so figure one into within the cloud they are going to do. Figure two is one hub database. They are going to configuring Azure as well as the on-premises as well. Okay, so we have a link this one you can go through. Okay, so you will get an some theoretical part, but let's do the step by step process. Okay, so that is the one thing I want to tell. So first we did in for a resource group. Don't go for at this moment. Later part you can go step by step, it will be there. But let's implement our lab first. Okay, so we are going to do the lab, right? We just implemented resource group, then we'll go for a Azure SQL server. Okay, so just go to this services and have a only logical SQL server. Okay, just go to the database related stuff. Yeah. I'm just going to create first, server. Okay, so as I said, okay, we are in a phase of discussing, last 2 to 3 sessions into the pass module only. Okay, still we are in a pass module, not went to the Azure SQL managers. Next upcoming modules, we are going to discuss in detail discussion about the managed instance related. Okay, so in this one, you'll have the three options. One is database server and the elastic pool and a single database. Elastic pool we discussed yesterday. Okay, so now I'm just going to do this, database server only at this moment. Okay, so let me deploy the database server first, and then we'll go and add databases. Okay. Creating this database, okay, with the Sing resource group. It is already there, right? By default, it is going to reflect it. So if you don't want to use this one, you can use for on-file to creating of the resource group. Okay. So this is my DB1. Okay. So DB1, I'm just calling this. Okay. So we have already DB1. So we can take this DB2. Okay.
So this database server is only dedicated to this subscription. Okay.
Not a subscription. Okay. Dedicated to this uh, resource group. Okay, so I'm just mapping. I'm just mapping. Did you got this? What is the resource group? Have you aware of resource group? You know, right?
Yes.
So I'm just adding the database server, right? So this is a server name, CP SQL server I'm going to create. CP logical server I'm creating, not for the database, first of all. Okay, I'm just creating the server, not a database. Okay, post creation of this server, I'm going to map in a one database. Clear? Srinath? Hello?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, that's right. So I'm just taking that CP agent SQL SRV, this is server. Okay, since I'm going to create the server here and use the SQL authentication. Okay, so provide a password. Right. So navigate networking port. Okay, so we can use this, option to use the resources within the cloud. Okay, so go to the security option. We'll have, identity and TDS in upcoming sessions. We are going to add that one. Let's go and deploy the default one only. Okay. Okay. When you are creating, one thing you need to remember, there is no pricing cost here. Okay, so you just going to deploying the logical SQL Server instance under this resource group. Okay, what we did in this process, first we did, resource group bus. Okay, and then server we deployed. I'm just going to deploy database on the specific server. Okay, let me navigate to this. Let me deploy. So we just, ensure that use case first of all. Okay, if you are know the use case, you will have recording, you are going to do the lab, and you will have article, Microsoft article you can able to refer. Okay, so different customers, they will come across, these situations. Okay, once after the everything has done, see why this is the situation will come. Okay, so I'll have one experience, one client. Okay, so what they did, they did the migration first. This, okay, they went into the Azure SQL only. Azure SQL they did, and they shut down here the on-premises one. Okay, there is no data now. Application using this database, this server, and this database. Okay, so they ran, 15 days, 1 month, and 3 months. A later part they realized, oh, this is not, compatible my application. There is some features got added into the application, and then realized that, oh, this is not, working for us, and the cost also good is going to increase as per their, on-premises cost. So then after that, the situation to back taking of the backup and restoring, this is not going to work. See, that is the complexity of the PaaS model. Simply they are giving, cloud, public cloud vendor the backend. They're going to increase there. You are going to stick their, environment automatically. Okay, so customer went back. Okay, so I want back to my on-premises. Then they realized they give the feature of this Azure Data Sync service. Okay, this has got, implemented after Azure public cloud implemented after 2 to 3 years. Okay, so initially this feature is not available. The customers is going to complaining, and there is some limitation. So if that is the option is not there, why the client is going to move cloud? Okay, so then after that, they had introduced this Azure Data Sync services. Okay, let's move this one. Okay, so I just, deployed the resource group on the logical SQL Server instance, and I'm going to do this, creating of my database now. See, as and when I'm going to click on this database, you'll get some cost related stuff here. Okay, so by default, the server name and server name is got, uh, server name got, disappearing here. Okay, so why? Because we are creating on that server only, cannot able to change anything. So as and when we are going to click that one, beside there is, you will get some, cost information, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm just creating of this one, db1. Okay, so db1 is belongs to source database only. So let me keep this one, instead of the general purpose, we'll go for, uh, uh, DTO standard methodology to save the cost. Okay, I'm just taking the default size of these databases. So just 10 DTUs, and per DTU INR is 121.46, which is going to give the per monthly cost of 1000 rupee. Just click on apply here. Okay, so now the sizing tier we applied in this specific database. Let's make this one LRS. Yesterday we discussed about what is LRS, right? So I'm just keeping to reduce my cost is, LRS I'm going to opt. Okay, so now what we are going to do, allow Azure services resource in this server, and you can add a client IP address also. Okay, so let's move for security option and additional configuration. At this moment I'm not going to take any sample database. I'm just going to take the empty database. There is no data at all. We are going to insert the data. Okay, so that is I want to highlight here. Okay, just click on click, which is going to create the database. Now as of now, what we did in a uh, use case one, resource group, a logical SQL server, database we did, and we are going to do the data sync operation. Okay. So part of this data sync operation, we do required, prerequisite to the target server also. Let me deploy the target server with the empty databases. Okay. So let it deploy first of all. Okay. So meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Okay, so it is going to take bit time. Okay, yeah.
So, like, what is the benefit of having this database server? Because this is a PaaS model, right?
Hmm.
Means it's unique to only our databases. Like, what the resources will be available. So, what are the benefits?
Okay. See, pass, if as and when we are going to use the pass, okay. See, you are doing only for a data level, right? You are not, taking any OS level patching, backup. Are we going to do here? So
No, no. Yeah,
on-premises.
that's the reason. But I this again data creation of database server option is giving us.
Okay, okay. So why it is giving us, only for the database server, right? See,
Mm.
let's think about it this. Okay, so client want to, do some, POC or, something new application they want to do. Okay, so what we are going to do, if you are going to do along with the server database, okay, it is going to cost you, right? Let's say today tomorrow you have task. Okay, today if you are going to create this logical SQL server, there is no cost at all. You are just deploying, make it ready for okay, as and one application team and all, they're going to give the data, the database, or then only you are going to create and use the database. By the time, okay, if you're ideally creating both database and the data, okay, which is going to cost you. That's what I said. The logical SQL server, there is no cost at all when you are creating. Okay. Now, when I'm creating the adding of the database, it is, mapping the cost. Got it? Now I'm going to do in a both in a single chart. Okay. So now individually we did, right? Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do in a single chart now. Okay. So the target one we require, right? Let me do the target one also. So what is this one? This target server what we need to do, right? So I'm going to do along with the logical SQL server instance. Okay. I'm going to do the database also. So see whether it is in 10 minutes before, 1 hour before, 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, but you are paying as and when it is got kickstart the deployment, you are going to pay, right? Instead of paying without using of deploying, that is not good practice. Okay, so that's what Initially, you can deploy the server, later part add the databases. So the other thing you can think about it. So for only the database you have added, later part you can add multiple database in the same server. Okay, let me deploy first of all together database and the server so that you'll get clarity on the target environment. Okay. Now, this is a source one. Okay, so 001, right? So I'm going to do the database with along the server. Okay, use this resource group on only. Okay, same resource group you can utilize, or else you can take the new resource group also. Okay, there is no change at all. There is no dependency with the resource group. Resource group is nothing but it is a bucket. Okay, pooled bucket. Okay, so all bucket we are going to keep in all your resources. That's it. But the thing is that what we are talking about target. Okay, db2. Okay, or else you can make the db2 also, just for the naming understanding purpose. I'll make this on target db2. Okay, so here it is showing this that database, right? If you are going using, I don't want to use this in existing one. This is a source server. Okay, I am going to create along with the database server here. Okay, just go to click on new server here. Okay, let's take this one, target SQL SRV02, and the location will be the same. Okay, even you can use the different location also. There is no changes at all. Right. So I just mapped this, server as well as database in single shot. The as per our requirement data sync implementation, we required, source and target servers. Go to this standard tier, we can take apply. Okay, so take this local data. I'm just using that. Go to the networking part, public endpoint access, make this that as security additional setting. Here also I'm taking the empty database bus. Okay, so here also I'm taking empty database. So see, option one I created individually. In option two I created both in a single shot, right? So validation is in progress now. Okay, I'm going to uh, let it deploy. Okay, so it is going to take 1 or 2 minutes only. Okay, not even that. So by the time, what we need to do? Okay, so we just do the test connectivity. Okay, so as of now, we did in a source one and a target one. Now we are going to configure the data sync option now. Okay, so by the time, what I'm going to do, just navigate to your portal and take this server and try to take the connection string here and go to your SQL Server Management Studio, and then uh, yeah, just connect your server here. Okay, so just use your SQL authentication. Okay, see why it is asking, because of this server. Okay, which is we not whitelisted here. Okay, so if you can go and click on this networking option, there is a select option. We haven't added your the public IP of your server. Just add, save, okay. So which is going to successfully add it. So you no need to do this thing. Okay, so I'm just going back here. I'm trying to connect one more time. Okay, let's see this how what is the option it is going to show you. Okay, I'm just canceling this and do the connect. Why? Because we already added this IPs. Okay, so this kind of small troubleshooting things you should know. If it is not connecting, where is that uh, options where we need to see and how to add. Okay, so it's a part of adding whitelisting of your host, whether it is your laptop or your server. Okay, now this is a source logical SQL server instance, and I have one database here which is there is no data at all. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to insert two tables here. Okay, so one is a student and one is a course table, and take this database and go to the new query window and execute here. Okay, so the most important thing that I want to tell you, whatever the data sync related is there, okay, that should be a primary key is required.